All right, so we've talked a little bit about bond discounts and how we would go about amortizing a discount on bonds payable. So let's move over then to amortization of bond premiums. And we're going to start out with a couple of true-false questions. It says, the amortization of a premium on bonds payable decreases bond interest expense. Now this is a true statement. And the reason for that, especially whenever when we talk about the effective interest rate method, is that the market rate of interest that we're going to be using to recognize interest expense is below the stated amount on bond. Okay. Now we're going to be looking at some examples in some upcoming problems that will kind of maybe help tie them together for you a little bit better. And in fact, we'll actually do a journal entry showing the amount of interest paid in cash and then the interest expense. And so you'll be able to see this kind of in action and see that this is actually a true statement. If you recall from the previous video, we said that a discount, not a premium, but a discount on bonds payable actually increases interest expense, and so a premium will do the exact opposite. All right, so stay tuned for those questions. The balance in premium on bonds payable should be reported as a deduction from bonds payable on the balance sheet. Well, this is not a true statement. This is a false statement. So I want you to understand why this would be the case. So let's say that we sold bonds at a premium. Let's just say that the bonds were sold for 102. What that means is that the bonds were sold for 102% of the face value. So what we would recognize here is that we're going to get cash. Let's say that it was a $100,000 bond issue. We're going to get cash of $102,000. But if it is a $100,000 bond issue, our liability for bonds payable would only be $100,000. So if we think about the accounting equation, assets equal liabilities plus equity, well, we have a problem here. We have the asset side is out of balance by $2,000. If we take that premium on bonds payable and we add it to the bonds payable liability, we get a carrying amount of $102,000, and now we balance. Okay, so it is an addition rather than a deduction. Okay. All right, let's see what else we have going on here. Let's see, am I at the top of the page? I am not. Let's bring that down. All right. This is this is probably going to smell a lot like the last true-false question we had. It says the balance in premium on bonds payable, A, should be reported on the balance sheet as a deduction from the related bonds payable. No. That's what we would do for a discount on bonds payable, but they're asking about a premium on bonds payable, so that's wrong. B, should be allocated to the remaining periods for the life of the bonds by the straight line method if the results obtained blah 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 blah. Okay, well, I don't even teach the straight line method. That's going to be a wrong answer. C, would be added to the related bonds payable on the balance sheet. Well, we just had an example of that very thing, didn't we? We did. This is the answer. Okay. I put this little star here because I forgot to bold this. This is an actual question here. And then this is our little workout area right in here. So it says if $1 million worth of 8% bonds are issued at 102 3/4, the amount of cash received from the sale is, well, the 8% is irrelevant here. We don't need that information. What we do need, however, is 1 million, and we're going to times that, we're going to multiply that by 102.75%, or in decimal form, we're just going to multiply that by 1.0275. Okay? All right. So let's see what we come up with if that happens. We got $1 million, okay, times 1.0275, and that's going to give us $1,027,500. And that is our answer. All right. Now, let's see what we've got going on here. All right. Okay. What I want to do, we've got 1, 2, 3 questions here, and what I would like to do, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to do the middle question first, and that will actually help us with this multiple choice question and then this multiple choice question directly after it. So it says the merchant company issued 10-year bonds on January the 1st. Okay, the 15% bonds have a total face value of $100,000 and pay interest every January 1 and July 1. So they're paying interest semi-annually. The bonds sold for $107,205 based on the market interest rate of 12%. Merchant uses the effective interest method to amortize bond discounts and premiums. On July 1st of the first year, merchant should record interest expense of. Okay, well, we're going to do this the exact same way that we did the bonds. We're going to focus our attention on the market rate of interest, which is 12%, and we're also going to look at the carrying amount of the bonds. Okay, carrying amount is $117,205. That's $100,000 for the liability, and a whopping $17,205 premium on the bonds payable. But notice, so we need this figure here. This, you know what? Give me 1 second. I'm going to move this over because I'm going to do some other stuff here. So we've got $117,205, and we're going to multiply that not by 0.12, but by 0.06. We have to half this again for the same reason we did before. And that's because we're going to do it twice, so plus 6 is 12. We're paying interest every 6 months. So 117,205 times 0.06 equals rounded $7,032. And that is the amount of interest expense that we are going to recognize. Therefore, put this out of the way. Our answer is choice A. Okay, $7,032 is our amount of interest expense recognized. Okay, so let's go up here. Right here it says the journal entry a company records for payment of interest, interest expense, and amortization of the bond premium is, well, let's just go ahead and do a journal entry based on this scenario right here in the middle, and we can figure out what we need to do right here. Yeah, we absolutely can. So the payment of interest, which is not interest expense, is going to be, we're going to need some different numbers. We're going to need 15% and the 100,000, okay? And we're going to take 100,000 and we're going to multiply that by 0.075, half of the 15%, and that's going to give us $7,500, okay? $7,500. If you don't believe me, 100,000 times 0.075, 7,500. There it is. Okay? So I didn't lie to you. So if we were going to do this as a journal entry, what we would have, we would want to recognize our debit for interest expense for the amount of $7,032. I'm going to then jump down to my one credit, which is going to be cash paid, $7,500. Okay. Now I've already got my $7,500 on the calculator. I'm going to subtract the amount of interest expense to arrive at $468. $468. And this is going to be premium on bonds payable. We would have set the premium of $17,205. We would have set that up initially with a credit. Now we're debiting it. So let's make sure that we balance. Well, I know we should, but 468 plus 7032 equals 7,500. This is our journal entry. So let's see what we have. Up here, debit interest expense, credit cash. Choice A is wrong. Choice B is wrong. We're not doing enough. Let's go with this one. Debit interest expense, yes. Debit premium on bonds payable, yes. Credit cash, yes. So that is our answer. Now, let's go ahead and look at this question. It says, when the effective interest is used, the amortization of the bond premium increases interest expense each period, decreases interest expense each period. Here's our example right here. Interest expense is less than the amount of interest paid. Therefore, B is the answer and the only answer that makes sense here.